it doesn't matter. I mean,
Okay, then I'll...
You're the only person to call, so...
Okay, then whatever.
Uh-oh, thumbnail needs to be changed. I know what to change it to. Boop. There we go. The problem should be solved. There we go. Thumbnail updated. We're good. It's no longer a fucking bed. Hi there, guys. MarioTube 101 here with Schnick. And still no Vandalia. What the fuck? Well, what the fuck is him not being here because he took a week off because he was at Disney World, like we established last week, and now he has to work because he needs to make up the missing time he had. So, yeah. Also, Schnick, shall I quickly review Mountain Dew Green Label?
Sure.
Alright, we're about to find out how Green Label tastes, everybody. Oh my fucking god. The thing
That's not the work of Shotgun Man.
That thing just fucking exploded.
Because it hates you.
Okay, apparently Green Label's so powerful it fucking exploded.
Oopsie.
God damn. That was unexpected. I need a tissue. Let's clean that up. Alright, well, that was awkward. Alright, at least I didn't get any on my screen. Alright, now, this is what Green Label tastes like. It says
Does it taste like layers?
It says crafted green apple kiwi. Yeah, that sounds about right. Tastes like apple
What
juice.
sounds about right?
This kind of tastes like apple juice.
They said layers. I guess the freaking green apple kiwi protective layer of Mountain Dew green didn't work.
What the fuck, Nick? I don't even know what you just said, but okay.
Oh my god.
Green Label's alright. I like it, but I probably wouldn't buy it if I had a choice between this and other sodas. Not the ones I haven't tasted yet, though. So far I've just reviewed white and now Green Label. There you go. Alright. Theme parks. I guess we should start with that. I guess I'll start up this time because last week I started you off. So theme parks for me, there's not really a whole lot of things I can remember exactly. Though the most recent one I've been to, it's not exactly an established theme park. It's more of a theme park that was built for a temporary amount of time, and it was at my friend's church actually because apparently they have a yearly thing going on with some company, I guess, and they have rides that come by every year, I guess. And I remember last year not being able to ride any rides that made you flip a lot because apparently I just had some kind of stomach ache or something, or no, I think I felt nauseous. I'm not sure exactly, but I think I was nauseous and I could not ride the rides for some reason, even though the year before I could do it just fine. I don't know what happened, but yeah. Oh yeah, and also apparently my dad nearly got ripped off. Well, actually, no, I think he did get ripped off. I don't know. But there was some rip-offing going on that day with me and my dad. Yeah, I guess it was fun. I mainly just watched, though. Oh, and they also have spinning rides, and let me just say this right now. Fuck every spin ride that has, like, a setup where you have multiple people in it, may or may not be enclosed, and you have a little table thing that you grab on the side and spin rapidly. Fuck those rides.
Fuck them just like fuck babies' kisses.
I don't know why people like those rides. It's like fucking... It's like me with spicy food. I don't see why people like spicy food. It doesn't make sense to me. But apparently people like spinning rides, and I'll never understand why. Oh my god. I almost just choked on my green label. Also, I'm not one to ride roller coasters because I don't know. I just don't. I guess I just don't like bigger roller coasters. And plus, there is the fear of a malfunction happening, a deadly one at that. Speaking of Disney World and Land, I've actually been to Disney World and Land at least once. Though, Disney World I've been at when I was extremely young, so while I remember going there, I can't tell you any experiences from that. Disneyland, on the other hand, intentionally rhymed, kind of. But on the other hand, with Disneyland, I remember having a hotel room, not one of Disney's hotel rooms, but a hotel room basically next to Disneyland, and the fucking ceiling had this really cool thing where, like, okay, when it got dark in the room, it would have like a space kind of thing on the ceiling. For some reason, that scared me at first. It was years ago, keep in mind, so I was still a kid. A stupid kid. There was a ride I went on called Space Mountain. Since I didn't like...
Oh, yeah.
Since I didn't like roller coasters, I closed my eyes the entire time. We had a picture, can't remember if my parents still have it. But we got a picture, and you would see my eyes closed. What I did see before the ride took off was the inside had like screens or something, and it was like space themed, I guess. From what I felt, it seemed to go straight for the most part, and I didn't really get a second chance. I didn't get a second chance after that, either because I didn't want to go on it again. My parents figured I didn't want to go on it again, or we just legit did not have time to go on it again. And if I ever went back to Disneyland, I think one of the first things I would do is go straight to Space Mountain and kind of redeem my mistake, I suppose. Because truth be told, I do kind of regret closing my eyes the entire time during that ride. So, having that extra chance would be nice. And that's all I remember for Disneyland. Oh yeah, also the badges. The badges system was kind of messed up. At least I thought at the time. I don't remember what it's like exactly, but basically, the only way you can reliably get badges is, or no, they call it pins, but whatever. The only way you can reliably get them is if you buy them. Trading is just not going to work out very well. And plus, trading is kind of a weird thing, if you ask me, because, you know, with trading cards, or in this case, Disney badges, literally, you can only trade if it's gonna better the other person, and it's gonna do worse for you. That's the only way you can trade. That's at least what I found. Because unless the person wants to give it away, trading's just not gonna work any other way. And therefore, just kind of broken, I guess. Other than that, there's one other... Oh, no, there's two theme parks. There's two other places I remember going. One place... I've been there... I've been to this place a few times. I don't remember what it was called. It wasn't Six Flags. Or at least I don't think it was. Shit. I don't remember what the place was called, but I've had fond memories there. Nothing really specific, though. I've just had fond memories of it. And I guess it's nothing important. And then the other place, I actually went there a couple years ago. The first year, or wait a minute, couple years? No, it wasn't a couple years, it was last year, what the hell? Well, it might as well be a couple years, but anyways, last year, actually, I think, I went to this theme park, and how it happened was, I really apologize if I keep saying, or in the middle of my sentences. I don't think I did that, but, yeah, I think I'm saying a lot and I'm just not noticing, so I apologize to myself and everyone else for that. I'm thinking on the fly here. Anyways, so about a year ago, I was, what is the word I'm thinking of? I was volunteering at this church, and I still volunteer there. And they one day offered me to go on this theme park that they were taking kids to. And I said, yeah, I'll go. And it turned out that it was a road trip on top of that. And we were gonna go all night, driving all the way to... I can't remember where exactly. I want to say California, but that seems unrealistic. I don't remember exactly, actually. My best guess is California, but I don't think it's right. Well, anyways, I went somewhere, and it was a fairly windy place. There was a lot of wind turbines in one location, and we continued on all night, and we get up there, and I believe it was a Six Flags. So we go up there, and we see this huge, huge parking lot, and we go in the park, and... Oh, wait a minute, no. Six Flags... I think it was Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now that I remember, or now that I think about it. Because there was a bunch of steep hills every now and then, like... Seriously, they were fucking steep. Like, climbing up them was a bitch. And I felt bad for anyone that had a wheelchair and they had to go up those hills. I fucking feel bad for anyone that had to go through that shit. But yeah. There was a lot of roller coasters. There was one... No, there's a couple particular roller coasters I went on, and they weren't exactly spectacular. But one of them, it was kind of close to the ground, but you would actually be able to see a lot of, I think it was hats, actually. I think there was a lot of hats on the ground. And I'm just like, what the hell? So, there's all these different hats and shit. And there was a water park section, but we weren't allowed to go to the water park section, unfortunately. But from what I could see, there was a lot of steep slides at the water park section. So, we do that all day, and I'm being extremely careful with food because, well, I'm by myself practically with, I guess, you know, whoever else went, and plus the adults. Oh, actually, side note, I went on another roller coaster that I forgot to mention. So 3 roller coasters I've been on in total. And the first one was a wooden roller coaster. The wooden roller coaster sucked. Let me just say that right now. Because of the vibrations. Seriously, you fucking shook like a motherfucker the entire time. It was bad.
It was snowing like a motherfucker. A goddamn blizzard.
So anyways, I'm being extremely cautious with food, and getting food there was extremely hard, actually, because a lot of things they served out was
no.
like the majority of it, and it was really bad. And luckily, I actually did bring a sandwich that was in an ice box or whatever. And I ended up eating that because the adults escorted me to that car, which is where I left my food at, and I just ate my sandwich there. That was a big sandwich, so it filled me up. Thank God for that.
Filled you up inside.
So yeah, we did that all day, and then we went to a Pizza Hut, I believe, after that, and got even more food. And then after we went to Pizza Hut, we drove all the way back to the church where we met up, and we all went home. And technically I was supposed to go and volunteer the next day, since I came back, I think, a Saturday night. So the next day would have been Sunday, and technically I was supposed to volunteer, but considering that nobody had any sleep, basically, there was no way I was going. I was just not going that day. Oh yeah, what astonished me actually were the adults, because they seemed to be fucking up and awake and alert the entire time. I'm just like, what the hell? How is this even possible? And, I mean, the only answer could be coffee, but, like, how much coffee did they freaking have? Like, oh my god. It was astonishing, actually. Oh yeah, also the car ride sucked because I couldn't get in a good position. Because there was a seat, and then there was like a gap, and then like there would be about maybe this much gap, and then there would be like the window. I'd have to lean kind of like this or something just to be in a somewhat good position, but still pretty bad. So yeah, the position sucked. Other than that, it was fun. That's all. That is all I remember about theme parks.
I have plenty of theme park horror stories, actually. Let's see. So, once my ma somehow got discounted tickets to a park called Dorney Park in Pennsylvania.
Dorney Park?
Yeah, it was basically a theme park / water park. We were going to the water park version. To quote a shitty Steven Seagal movie, but this quote's actually very fitting. Delve down into your deepest fears. Try to imagine the ultimate fucking nightmare. And that wouldn't even come close to describing what my experience at Dorney Park was like.
Wow.
I remember when we went out to dinner, my mom announced she got the tickets. Like, I was like, oh, bless you, because I was an egotistical middle school schnick at the time, so I didn't really like my mom very much back then, because I thought she punished me for no reason all the time.
For no reason? Oh my god.
Oh, there's plenty of reason for her to do it, but middle school me didn't want to hear it.
Yep, because you were too busy making shitty RPGs, so you didn't want to have time for that shit.
Nope. I was way too busy making shitty RPGs. So we end up driving there. It's like a 4-hour drive because we have to drive through New York City. We have to drive, which is not very long. We just have to drive outskirts of it. Like, I think we cross over the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah.
And then we have to go through the entire state of New Jersey, and that's the majority of the trip.
Yeah.
And because New Jersey's not a very big state, but when you're driving southbound through it, it could take a while to get through. But anyways, so we arrive in Pennsylvania, and already we have our first warning sign.
Oh no.
As soon as we pull up to the park.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the warning size?
Warning sign. So, we happened to go on a day where it was like 90 degrees outside.
Okay.
There was a literal crowd of people trying to get in the park. Not even at Disney did I see that many people trying to get into a park.
It was worse than a Disney park?
It certainly felt that way.
Oh, God.
Because literally it was this whole crowd of people. I mean, sure, there's crowds of people at Disney, but at the very least they have multiple ticket booths open, so that way people can actually get in faster, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing, this crowd was like an utter mess. You could not tell where the line to get inside was.
Oh, no.
Disney at least has the decency to do that.
How did
And
they
keep
do
in
it?
mind, the worst period to go to Disney is like in the morning. If you go in like midday, that's when most people are already in the park.
How does Disney do their line setup?
Basically, the way Disney does it today, and I can verify this because I went to Disney fairly recently. If you don't have tickets printed out from the internet, you first have to go buy them, and you basically go into these predetermined lines. Like, it's not like they just leave the booths open. You have to actually go through like little pathways that are set up by railings.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you go through that, you have to go through another line if you have any bags with you, and they have to check the bags to make sure you don't have like weapons and crap in there.
Okay.
And that's fair enough. I mean, thing is, I never bring bags with me when I go into theme parks. So if I were to visit Disney or even like Universal on my own, I wouldn't have to worry about getting checked.
I suppose. But it's like, oh, you want to check me, officer? No. How about you get checked for weapons that you're carrying?
Well, they have to carry them. Then again, there's never been an incident at Disney or any parks I'm aware of because they are frickin' tight on security there. But anyways, so yeah, Disney is much more organized. I'll tell you one thing, getting into Magic Kingdom can be a nightmare because the last few times I had to go to Magic Kingdom, the monorails weren't working. So we had to take a ferry. And I remember we went to Disney like shortly after New Year's. That was a big freaking nightmare comparable to what happened at any park.
Yeah.
Because we went at a peak period where people, even though like Christmas vacation was ending for most kids, you had all those stragglers in Florida who didn't want to go back to school.
Yeah.
I remembered my ma, we had to get a seat from my ma, and there was literally one point where my sister tried to grab a seat next to this one guy sitting at a bench, and he literally scooched over so my sister couldn't sit down.
So he basically refused to let someone sit next to him.
Yeah.
What a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, so my ma had to stand the whole ferry ride, and the thing is, on a ferry that rocks back and forth like that, my ma's not able to stand through that very well.
Oh my
Yeah.
Say anything?
My sister got really pissed off, but he didn't say anything. See, that's the key. When it comes to theme parks, people can get super selfish, you know?
They do? I never really had experiences, so I couldn't really tell you.
Look, I need to describe Dorney Park. That's, like, the best way to describe, like, how selfish people can be at theme parks. But, yeah, so then when we went to Disney again in May, around Memorial Day, that was much better. We went to Animal Kingdom because my cousin wanted to take me and my sister, and she also wanted to take a friend of hers that had never been to Disney before. We went to Animal Kingdom on, like, the day they opened a new section of the park called Pandora, based on James Cameron's Avatar.
Yeah.
For the first half of the day, we had basically had the park to ourselves because everyone was going to Pandora.
Yeah.
We were able to get on so many rides so quickly. The only ride we had a little bit of trouble on was Mount Everest, like the roller coaster of Animal Kingdom. Like, that was like a 2-hour wait, but thankfully, praise the Lord for this, there was a single rider line.
Huh.
If you don't know how single rider lines work, basically think Fast Pass. The only catch is that you have to ride by yourself.
Wow.
Basically, the single rider line exists because, you know, you have groups of people that want to sit together. For groups of people that are odd-numbered, like if there's one person wanting to go on, 3 people, or 5 people, single riders basically fill in the empty seats.
Yeah.
And through the single rider line, you could skip the wait big time, and we did. So, then of course, I gotta say, that visit to Disney, like, I thought that the reason why Disney was so bad around New Year's was because of a population increase. No. We just happened to go during a busy period. Because during May, the visit was typical of what a visit to Disney was like. And we actually got to go to Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, the 2 water parks of Orlando, together, because our ticket happened to cover both of them. So we went to Typhoon Lagoon with my ma, because my ma can't really do much, like I said, and she was there to represent my gram, who liked going in the lazy river. Oh, speaking of which, keep a lookout for the 007 World's Not Enough Let's Play I'm doing for what would have been my gram's 79th birthday. But anyways, getting back to business. What? Did I piss you off?
No. Why, did it look like I was pissed?
Okay. Yeah, I heard you slam something.
I didn't slam anything.
Well, I don't know. So my dad discovers our ticket would work on Blizzard Beach, too. So my ma drops me, my dad, and my sister off at Blizzard Beach while she just went back to our hotel room. And here's the thing. Blizzard Beach was surprisingly vacant. Like, there was not many people there.
Oh, wow.
The only catch is Blizzard Beach, you need to do a lot more walking, and the sun beat... You claim that you can't walk barefoot in Arizona.
Yeah. Especially...
I learned how you felt when I went to Blizzard Beach.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, like, thankfully, Disney, a new addition they put to Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach is that they put sprinklers around the park to cool people off when they're walking. But in any areas that had no water running, I was basically burning myself anytime I tried walking across it when there's direct sunlight on it.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, my experience to this one water park I went to, it wasn't a theme park, it was exclusively like a water park area, I guess. But my experience, basically, take your experience, but minimize the amount of sprinklers and only have it in one specific area, and it's not even a big area. That's basically what my experience was. Any area that had cold water running, or like, I don't know, some kind of thing, any area that had water like that was fine, but the main water basically did not have any sprinklers, and therefore was fucking coal hot. It was seriously that bad. So bad, so bad you needed flip-flops everywhere. I'm not fucking joking. And unfortunately, my flip-flops broke because of the water. So yeah, it's fucking hell. So at least with your experience, you had some sprinklers. Me, there was like practically none.
Well, anyways, getting back to my experience, so, yeah, Blizzard Beach surprisingly didn't have that many people there. They have this huge slide that's like, oh, it's almost a 200-foot drop, I think.
Oh my god.
And the first time I went to Blizzard Beach, that line was like 90 minutes long. The wait on my second visit was not even like 10-15 minutes.
Holy shit.
I ended up going down that slide 3 times.
Damn.
I do have the photos to prove it. I distinctly remember when I went down it the first time, I yelled, "Oh shit!" And I think the park employees heard me when I got to the bottom and they asked me if I was okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You must have been fucking loud.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Wait, did you have to be in that position where you laid on your back, you crossed your arms and legs?
Yeah, I had to do that.
Oh, it was one of those rides, damn.
Yeah, I ended up going down that 3 times. There was like this little sledding ride where I kept falling off the sled in the middle of the slide, and I kept worried I was gonna hurt myself.
Wow.
But it was great because there was barely anybody there. The wait times were very short. But anyways, let's get back to the nightmare that was Dorney Park. So, we finally maneuver through that crowd. My ma gets really mad at me when I whined about how big the crowd was. We get to the wave, and the thing is, Dorney Park was not a big park.
Oh.
Literally, it felt like there was no room to maneuver. Like, literally, it felt like there was no park capacity, and the park was literally flooded with people.
Oh my god.
We go to the beach where we try to sit down, and at one point when we tried to regroup with my mod, like get a drink or something, it was hard getting through all the people.
Jesus.
One thing about Typhoon Lagoon is even in its most crowded days, there was at least room to maneuver.
Well, that day was the most crowded.
Yeah, well, and the thing with Dorney is that I was only able to go on, like, give or take, let's be nice, 3 rides throughout the entirety of the day. Like, we got there around 12, maybe, and we stayed until, like, 6 or 7.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
I am serious. The first time was just a simple water slide. The second time was for a lazy river.
Oh no, a lazy river? Was the fucking lazy river just like frozen from...
No, the lazy river itself was fine when I actually got to it, but then here's the problem. At both Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, there is no frickin' line for a lazy river. You just simply go in, and there you go.
Yeah.
Not at Dorney. You have to sit through a line to get to it.
What? Are you fucking serious? A line?
And it was a long one. Like, we're talking, the line extended at least what felt like half a mile out the gate. Well, not that long, but it was very long outside the gate.
Oh. Jesus fucking Christ, Nick. Did you even go in that line?
We did.
Why?
And this is where the selfish part that I mentioned before comes in. Especially when I was a kid, I had a problem to where if I didn't eat something frequently, like if I didn't eat something like on a normal 3 meals a day basis, my skin would get pale and I would get nauseous to where I would feel like I would throw up.
Oh, what the fuck?
I think that's due to a lack of blood sugar, but yeah. On a few occasions, it happened. Sometimes it would just happen at home or at school, and that would be like no big deal. I would just have to lay down, maybe eat something. Then there were a few times where it happened in public places.
Jeez.
One notable time was when I church, like for like Easter Sunday or something, and at my church during like masses or anything like that, there's frequent points where you have to stand as like prayers are recited, and sure enough, that nausea period started during a long period of us standing up. My mom was getting mad at me for not wanting to stand, but then my dad looks at me, sees my skin's pale, and he's like, "Oh, he's not feeling well, he's not feeling well." He takes me down to the basement of the church, and he just has me sit there with my head down.
Oh god.
And then they all came for me. My mom was like, "Oh, it must have," and my mom realized the situation, and that was good. And of course, the priests there were more than happy to let me just sit down there. Then it happened when we went to a mall.
Oh no.
We were walking through a... What?
Was it a busy mall?
I'd say so, because there's plenty of people that go... We went to that mall all the time. Not so much anymore. I know my sister and my ma still go there, but I see not much reason, because it's mostly clothing stores.
Yeah.
Then again, one of my retro game stores is very close by to it, so... Actually, there was one day, a couple of months ago, where my dad wanted to go on like a trip to a music store that was like 2-3 hours away from home. He ended up dropping me at this particular mall, which is like a half hour away. And I just walked around the mall for a little bit just because I hadn't been there in a while. And when I got bored, I actually walked all the way to my retro game store that was close by, and somehow I was able to walk all the way back, and my dad wasn't even close to getting to the mall to pick me up and have lunch with me.
Wow. Can I read what Vandalia put in the chat real quick?
Yeah.
He said, "Hopefully next week I will have the vids of my trip ready. That would have been good for this episode."
Maybe. But let's see. So, getting back to the nausea incident at the mall. So we're walking through the Macy's that they have there because That was the one store that my grandma and my mom would always walk through. Next thing you know, as we're walking, I start feeling sick, and my dad sees, oh, you're pale, we need to find... And at one point, I actually tried sitting on the floor, and my mom, and my dad are like, don't do that, and then there was actually people passing by asking if I was okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Shocking, huh? And then again, not too shocking. There's instances of that all the time. It's just the news doesn't report it because it's much more important to report the negative shit.
Remind me of my own situation of me being sick in the store. When I was a kid.
Wow. But so my dad finds these reclining chairs that are basically able to give massages. Like, basically, the recliners vibrated and, like, gave, like, massage to your back.
Uh-huh.
There were 2 kids sitting in it testing out, and my dad's like, oh, please move, he's not feeling, can you please move, he's not feeling well, and they gladly moved, jumped out, and let me sit. And thankfully, after sitting for a little bit, I started to feel better. And meanwhile, my dad gives me a lecture saying, see, this is why you need to eat in the morning. Your body's not gonna feel well. You need food.
Wow.
Because that's the thing. I would frequently skip breakfast in the morning.
Why?
Because I didn't feel like eating it.
I don't understand why people skip breakfast. It's kind of weird.
So it's oftentimes because they want to sleep in, and then by the time they wake up, it's like time for lunch.
With me, it's like I basically want to eat breakfast even if I wake up past morning. You know what I mean? Like I consider breakfast.
So you're like that guy from the movie. Oh my God! You're like Michael Douglas from Falling Down.
Why?
Because in that movie, there's a scene where Michael Douglas's character walks into a McDonald's or something. He's like, "Hi, can I get a breakfast sandwich?" And, sir, it's 11:30. It's past hours. But I came in here to have breakfast. That's what I wanted, sir. But it's time for lunch. You can order from the lunch menu. I came in here for breakfast. And then at one point, he actually pulls out a freaking Uzi, saying, "I just want some breakfast." And then everyone in the freaking McDonald's starts panicking. He's like, well, "What's the problem? Why can't I just order breakfast? I'm not gonna hurt anyone. All I want is a breakfast sandwich."
Oh my God!
Like, basically,
amazing.
That movie's basically satire on how oversensitive a lot of society is, I guess.
Oh my God, I need to see that now.
I ordered a frickin' 4-Film Favorites DVD pack that includes it, but frickin' Amazon doesn't want to ship it.
Wow.
I might end up just canceling my Amazon order and defecting to Walmart.
Huh.
But anyways, actually, I'm sure you could look up the scene on YouTube if you wanted. Yeah, so, as you can see, those are numerous occasions where people showed legit concern when they noticed I wasn't feeling well. Like, you could see it on my skin. Like, I looked super pale, like I had no life in me.
Oh, wow.
Sure enough, we're like not even halfway through the line for that frickin' lazy river. It starts coming on.
Jeez.
The nausea. I was standing in that line for well over an hour and a half. And the nausea started.
Oh, God.
even though we were in a crowded line, no one seemed to care. Everyone could see how pale I was. I was practically on the ground crawling because I could not stand up. I would just feel too sick.
Wow.
There was one thing that someone did for me, though.
Yeah?
There was this little fat girl behind me that kept shouting, "Ride! Ride! Ride!" and bumped into me a couple of times.
She kept yelling, "Ride"?
Yeah.
Why?
Impatientness.
Sounds more like fucking autism. Oh my god. And she constantly did that?
She was yelling random crap. I distinctly remember she yelled "ride" a couple of times.
Oh my god. Someone...
I don't remember the rant being exactly autistic, but it was definitely a spoiled kid.
Sounds like fucking autism if she was yelling random shit. Seriously, it sounded like someone needed to tell her to shut the fuck up.
But yeah, eventually we made it onto that frickin' thing, and then we go on this tube slide, which was the last thing we had time for, and we decided never again.
Never again go to that park?
Yeah, the thing is, they had a normal amusement park right next to it, and in retrospect, we should have went there instead, because that part of the park was practically abandoned.
Oh my god. So you chose to go to an extremely crowded water park, then an empty amusement park? What the fuck? God damn it, Schnick. Oh my god.
It wasn't my decision.
Fair enough.
It was my mom and dad that wanted to go in. But anyways, we finally start riding home. We got to go to Cracker Barrel for dinner.
Oh my god, Cracker Barrel. I remember that place. Kind of.
Yeah, I go there. I go there sometimes. They have plenty of Cracker Barrels near me.
The one I remember going to had like toys in it as well.
Oh, every Cracker Barrel's like that. They have like, yeah, like that's the novelty with it. Like they have this little like novelty store as you enter, and then the restaurant you go in after.
Wow. Yeah, we didn't go to that place very often at all. Well, maybe a couple times.
Yeah, normally when I eat out, we actually go to Cracker Barrel a little bit frequently.
Yeah, I wonder why we do.
Like it's normally it's during road trips though. Like I remember once last year when I stayed at school for a Saturday just so I had a chance to go to my retro game store. It's also where could I turn on my webcam quickly?
Yeah.
Or would you have to configure it?
You're literally one person, Schmick. It's fine.
Okay. So, last year, I went to a retro game store. I wanted to stay at my school for one single Saturday to go to that store. And my mom and dad are like, "Oh, we'll pick you up and we'll take you to lunch at Cracker Barrel." So, it's a good thing I got to go to the store that day because that's how I got this. My Long Box Alien Trilogy.
Wow.
Last time I was at the store near the mall, they actually had another one of these. I think it was even cheaper. I got mine for $15. The one they had at the mall store was like $10.
Oh, wow.
But I have no regrets. I love having this freaking long box thing. But But yeah, that was the ultimate nightmare of a theme park experience, and I'm gonna turn off my webcam.
Why no webcam?
Oh, so you do want to see my ugly ass face.
Holy shit, your fucking audio quality just went way the fuck up when you said that line. Oh my god.
And also my Umbrella Corporation t-shirt.
Oh, and okay, there's your audio quality going down again. So it only went up when you fucking said that one line, and then it goes back to where it was before.
Fate loves me.
What the fuck, Skype?
Fate loves me.
Whoa.
So, yeah. In my Schnick Goes on Vacation video, there was a big misunderstanding when I tried going to Universal with my friend Jason and his sister Nicole and my sister Alex. They wanted to go see a Pitbull concert, Alex and Nicole.
Yeah?
That was going to be at Universal Studios that day. Thing is, it happened to be my birthday. Well, actually, no, it wasn't my birthday. My birthday dinner was planned for the day, and my ma decided not to arrange for it so that Alex and Nicole could go to the concert.
Oh no.
I ended up throwing a big temper tantrum when things didn't go my way. That's to make a long story short.
Oh shit.
And the thing is, the night before, Nicole was always addicted to her phone. She actually dropped it by accident, and the screen broke, and she was devastated.
Yeah.
And it was weird, because when we got in the car and went back to the hotel room, Nicole was mentioning how, because she couldn't use her phone, she was just noticing everything weird with the rest of us. She noted how Jason was super reserved and didn't really react to all the crap that was going on. Alex was way too adventurous and kept going on rides where she kept getting sick. And she also noticed how, and she described it like this: I was having a mental breakdown. Me.
A mental breakdown.
Oh, yeah, that was something else. And thing is, that vacation was pretty fun, though. We got to go to Universal, both parks, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Orlando. 2 separate days, and thing is, when both Jason and Nicole came to my Gram's funeral, Nicole mentioned she would want to do a vacation like that again, and I hope we can do it again.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, in fact, speaking of which, a couple of days ago, Jason did mention he might be willing to come on a Skype call at one point, so he might appear in some videos again. Then again, he barely used Skype. In fact, he admitted he doesn't remember his login information.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so he would probably have to make a new account. Truth is, I could have messaged him at any point, but I don't know if I should just bother him out of nowhere. Same goes for Dominic, by the way, who we had in the podcast last week.
Yeah.
Like, I should try to avoid impromptu inviting, because, you know, they might got their own stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I'm trying to think of other weird experiences I had at theme parks.
While you do that, use the bathroom, so keep these people entertained while I'm gone.
Okay.
Edit scene, webcam, please show me where it is, thank you. I'll be right back. Hopefully.
I just turned off my PS3. Say hello to the game I was raging at. Toy Story on the Genesis. I just finished recording this game yesterday, so that's going to be pretty fun to upload. And don't worry, I did not rage quit it. I actually did beat it, and I learned to appreciate it. So, yeah, go up on the shelf. Meanwhile, just because I'm in the mood for more onions and layers, I'm going to play audio of Brandon going insane because of Shrek on Xbox. Who's ready for some audio? Oh, wait. I can even just play the video.
YouTube channel This game has broken my spirit. This game has taken it too far. Avast! Avast! Go away! You don't want to see this, Avast! You do not want to fucking see this, Avast! What the fuck is your problem, Avast? I want to save you. I wish I could save my friends. I don't fucking care, Avast. Go away! Avast. Avast, you couldn't save me from Shrek. I couldn't save myself from Shrek. I should have heeded Schnick's warning. I should have listened. I should have fucking listened. 3, 2, 1. Fuck you, Shrek!
Oh my god, that's what happens when you play Shrek on Xbox race mode. Oh my god, I need to go see if there's some comments in the chat. I don't think there are, but we will see. Oh! I see what image Mario used. Comments in the chat. I don't think there are, but we will see. There are no comments. Yeah, only one comment from Vandalia. That is sad. Night! That was my dad. Yo, what the hell? Oh. Here's my new Xbox One controller, Recon Tech. Say what you will, but I like this design. It's also got some fancy rubberized grips on the back. My old Xbox One controller didn't have that. And my other Xbox One controller is at my school. It's being used for me to play UFC with the boys there. And yeah, trying to think, what else can I do for the... I know what to do. I'm going to play one of my famous rage moments. If I can find it before Mario gets back. I need to try and time it perfectly. Alright. Yo! Yo, 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 yo. Okay, here we go. Because if I didn't put the trigger in, then you know what that means. I gotta go. Fuck me! Finally!
You're welcome.
Speaking of triggers,
What? No!
what happened?
I didn't program the fucking story in my head! Oh my
I guess
God.
my only option is to try and change the time of day and see if that helps.
Oh my God, that was something else. Alright, do I have another freaking video? Actually, I can go and try and find, instead of just playing stupid video clips from videos that you could go look up yourself, wasting podcast time, I think I'm going to try and look for The World's Not Enough. Because I need to be able to use it. You know, hang on a minute. Alright, so this is the game I'm going to be playing for my Graham's birthday, posthumous birthday. This is the gray cartridge version of The World Is Not Enough, except a more common version of the game is a blue cartridge. Personally, I wish I got the blue cartridge because it looks fancier, the way I see it. Lets you achieve a better rainbow of colors in your N64 library. I only have a couple of black cartridges, which are for Turok 203, Rainbow Six, and Scooby-Doo. I have 2 red cartridges for Spider-Man and Rocket Robot on Wheels. I have at least 1 yellow cartridge with DK64. I might have another yellow cartridge if there is one. And I also have a green cartridge with battle tanks. I could also get another green cartridge through Rayman 2. And I gotta be honest, I gotta go to the bathroom too.
I am back.
Just in time, I gotta go to the bathroom too. Do you want to entertain miscellaneously for a bit?
I will make an attempt. Wow, I can't believe I was back in a perfect time. Wait, what was the last thing you were talking about?
I was talking about the different colors of Nintendo 64 cartridges.
What the hell? Oh shit, how am I supposed to go with that? Okay. Well, apparently since we're talking about Nintendo and I have nothing to say about N64, I guess we'll talk about 3DS because I'm trying to get back on the 3DS platform again. So I tried fixing my circle pad to show my 3DS XL because it was stiff because of Smash 4 on 3DS. And it's not exactly repaired, it's still somewhat stiff. I tried cleaning around the area as best I can, and it became slightly less stiff, but it's still kind of up there. I think it's pretty usable for what it is, so I figure, this will be good enough for the time being. So I tried getting my data back, but I realized that, oh shit, my data is fucking corrupted apparently. Not all of it. There's still some that's good, but some of it was corrupted for some reason. And I thought, what the hell happened? So I tried going on a 3DS backup that I had on my computer, and every time I tried it there, no matter what SD card I used, it didn't seem to work out. So the only other option I had was to basically delete all the blank question marks that were on the 3DS through system settings and re-download some software. And I found that I don't think I can use this SD card because I don't know why, but I think this SD card is messed up, which I don't understand why, because it was just in a video camera the entire time. I don't know what happened to it. I might try it again at some other point, but as for right now, it's just not going to work. So I'm currently sticking with a 2 GB from, I guess, the original system. So that seems to work. I need to get my theme back, and hopefully that'll work out pretty well, but yeah, I had to re-download some shit, and I'm not understanding what exactly happened that made these things go all wacky on me. I'm gonna have to figure that out at some point. And speaking of handheld consoles, I wonder how the 3DS is gonna fare with the Switch. I think maybe the 3DS, in terms of the handheld portion, it might fare better because the 3DS was more built for portability, and I don't know, there's just already a bunch of games on there, plus DSiWare games still, so I mean, I guess there's that. The Switch games, while the Switch games are okay, they probably could be better, I guess. I mean, I don't know. We have a Namco Museum game on there, yeah, it's $30, and the price is not worth the amount of games that's on there. Not to mention that a lot of the multiplayer functions in that game, actually no. Well, okay, wait. Let me rephrase that actually, because I don't own the game, but there is a free downloadable version of a particular game. I think it was Pac-Man Versus, and it's not the Pac-Man Versus that you would find at an arcade. Think of more Namco Museum DS Pac-Man Versus. It was basically that, but with Nintendo Switch and higher quality graphics, and probably some other differences I'm not aware of. But you can't even play it by yourself because you have to have more than one person, and those other people also have to have their own Switch as well. So, if you have friends but you don't have extra Switches, or they don't have Switches of their own, good fucking luck. Honestly, good fucking luck. At least with Pac-Man Versus on the DS, if they had DSs, then at least you could do it through wireless play, not fucking having to own the game itself. You know what I mean? Actually, speaking of eShop, why is there no music, and why isn't there anything special anymore? I mean, I kind of feel like Nintendo Switch is more generic than anything. I mean, okay, hardware-wise, it's not generic at all. It's kind of revolutionary if you think about it. But the catch is that it is somewhat... there is somewhat cheap stuff that's around the Switch, for one. And two, what I mean is Classic Screen, or I think Plastic Screen, can't remember, and Dock Scratch.
Hey.
Anyways, two, the eShop is what I mostly mean by generic, because, well, first off, no music like the past 4 fucking consoles, and those 4 consoles being the 3DS, the Wii U, the Wii, and the DSi. All 4 of those had their own shops, and all 4 of them had their own music, and for some reason the 3DS's eShop changed music at some point, like permanently. I'm not sure why. Or at least I think it did. Don't count me on that. But that's what it seems to be. And it's just like, why is there no more originality with their shops anymore? Like, okay, Wii Shop and DSi Shop, they had a point system. I mean, yeah, you still had to use real money, obviously, but, you know, at least their currency was points, and that was kind of cool, actually. And then 3DS eShop came, and they just got rid of the point system entirely and decided, you know, fuck it, real currency. And then they just stuck with that ever since. And at least with the 3DS eShop and the Wii U eShop, they at least had music. And all 3 of those all 4 of those consoles, shops, were actually organized at the very least. Nintendo Switch's eShop, not only is it generic, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of organization. I mean, yeah, you have bestsellers and new releases and coming soon, but I mean, other than that, that's about it. The only other thing you can rely on is the search option. I mean, that's about it, really. There's, like, no organization. And I just have to ask myself, why? I mean, isn't organization a good thing? Apparently not with the Switch eShop. No, there's just 0 organization whatsoever. Well, sorry, like 5% organization, I guess. It just does not make any sense. The eShop on Switch feels cluttered. It's kind of boring compared to the other 4 shops. And, honestly, it needs to be a little bit more fun, in my opinion. Also, why hasn't Nintendo brought back the little animation where on the Wii Shop you would download games, and when a game is downloading onto your Wii, there was that little animation. Where did that go exactly? I really wish that was brought back, because that animation was fucking cool. Along with the music in the background, oh my god. Like, can someone please bring that back? Oh yeah, and also apparently Wii Shop is now shutting down soon, so that's a thing.
Yes, it is, unfortunately.
And that's seriously disheartening. Yeah, I don't think I got anything else. Wait, is the DSi shop already closed down? I think it was.
I guess.
Is there anything else you can talk about, Schnick, or...
I mean, how long have we been going for?
1 hour and 15 minutes.
Do you think that's long enough?
If you want to stop here, then we can stop.
I mean... Oh, here's another bullshit thing Nintendo did. So you know how Nintendo has like a copyright crackdown on shit? On gameplay of their games?
And music.
Yeah, well now apparently Nintendo put a new catch with people who join their creators program.
Really?
Apparently you're no longer allowed to live stream.
What? Are you fucking serious? You can't live stream games?
Doesn't look like it.
Is it their games exclusively, or like literally all games?
I think their games.
Why? That's really stupid.
Because Nintendo has layers!
That makes no sense whatsoever. You can't live stream their own games, but you can still upload videos. What's the fucking point then?
None.
So if you were a channel that only live streamed, then your channel would be fucked, basically. That seriously
I
does not make
suppose.
sense. What the
Let me
fuck?
read into it actually. Where is it? Where was the fucking story? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah.
Schnick is loading.
Yeah, apparently you are allowed to live stream Nintendo games as long as you're not part of the creators program with Nintendo.
And what is their reasoning for this? Because I would love to hear what fucking shit they have to put out for it.
This article has no mention of it.
Damn it. Do they link something to an official Nintendo site that talks about it?
Oh, they just have a rule saying live streaming falls out of the scope of the creators program, therefore you're not allowed to do it.
Is that the official website or is that the article?
The official website.
So even the official website gives no reasoning why they did this?
Yep.
What the fuck? Oh my god, that's stupid. So, literally, they're like, oh, no more live stream.
No more ogre head.
Oh my god, that's
No more
fucking
ogre hands.
ridiculous.
No more ogre legs. And no more ogre body.
So, literally, what is the point of joining the fucking program then?
None. That's why I upload my Nintendo videos on your account, because I don't want to get copyrighted.
Yeah, and that's why I don't fucking join programs, because they're basically a scam. And apparently
The
Nintendo's
scammer.
to a really bad scam too.
The scammer.
Seriously, it makes no fucking sense. So you're allowed to live stream when you're not in the program, but when you are on the program, you're not allowed. Okay, so basically, you're like Nintendo's little media slave. Okay.
Exactly.
That's retarded. Oh, you're allowed to use our gameplay. Oh, but it only must be a video if you dare live stream our games. Oh, we're gonna fuck your channel up, buddy. That's what they're basically like.
Yep. Goodbye, Shrek. Goodbye, Shrek. I will never miss you. Goodbye, Shrek. Goodbye, Shrek. Get out of my life.
No one knows
I
where that's
hate
from yet.
you. What?
No one knows where that's from yet, though.
I played part of it while you were gone.
You did? Oh my god. Wait, so does that count as, like, spoilers for people who watch Brandon's Let's Play now?
No, we publicly discussed Brandon's outburst several times in several podcasts and live streams before this.
But it wasn't shown as a video, though.
They didn't get to see the high quality version, besides making a director's cut that features the footage.
Oh. Well, I guess it's gonna be shown one way or another, then.
Uh-huh. Nothing too special about it.
Nothing too special about Goodbye, Shrek. Goodbye, Shrek.
I will never miss you. Goodbye, Shrek. Goodbye, Shrek. Get out of my life. I hate you. I hate you. You ruined my mental state.
Oh my god.
You fucked it. You fucked it.
Oh.
No more. No more. No more Shrek.
Did you play sad music over that, or did you play it yourself?
No, I didn't. It sounds like a freaking. It sounds like a freaking depression bout. Oh my god. It's all because of a freaking game. That, like, if it were anything else, it would really be sad. But the fact that it's over a game, oh my god.
Oh, come on. It's just over a stupid little game. Oh my god, I fucking spat on my goddamn computer screen. Holy shit. Yeah, I know. It's horrible. Okay, it's gone now. What was I gonna say? Oh, fuck. I thought I had something to say, but apparently not. Also, I just remembered, there was actually one other thing that I was going to talk about earlier, but I almost forgot. So that thing you reminded me of earlier, basically what happened was I was a kid, and apparently I was sick. Not sure why I was sick, but I felt really nauseous to the point where I was going to puke, and me and my dad were in a Sam's Club. So he had me sit down on a bench. My dad went to probably look for some kind of medicine or something, and while my dad was gone, I was all alone. And this one stranger came up to me and was asking me about some kind of gum. I'm not fucking joking. He came up to me and constantly asked me if I wanted some gum or something, like he was trying to advertise it. It wasn't like, oh, hey kid, you want a piece of gum? No, it was like he was trying to fucking advertise it for me, like he was working there or something. And I didn't really pay much attention because I was really sick. Like, I was literally just sitting there with my head down like this, feeling like shit, while this random guy was trying to fucking sell me some gum or whatever. And this goes on for maybe at least 5 fucking minutes. Like, this guy did not leave me alone, and I'm just sitting there very silent. This guy does not even catch on to the fact that, hey, maybe this kid is sick and is about to fucking puke. Like, seriously, it's as if the guy didn't catch on about that. He kept bothering me about gum, of all fucking things. And eventually my dad came back and fucking chased him off. He was pissed off at the dude for trying to fucking sell me gum or whatever the fuck. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot that too. Like, seriously, Why does the fucking adult come up to a little kid that doesn't have an adult nearby, or no, his parent nearby, while he's fucking sick, bugs him for 5 fucking minutes about gum? Do you think a little kid's just gonna buy your fucking shitty gum? Oh my god.
Oh my
like,
god.
Seriously, I don't fucking have money. I'm like, what, 5 years old? Fuck off. Yes, cause gum's gonna cure my sickness. Oh yes, it's sickness curing gum. It's magic, bitch. Like, what the fuck? That guy is like fucking retarded that day. Oh my god.
Trying to think if I have a similar story.
Jesus fucking Christ. I should ask my dad if he remembers anything about that story now.
Oh my
I
god.
literally completely forgot that even happened until after you mentioned something that made me remember it.
I know that, there was a pretty miscellaneous story that happened once. My dad was picking me and my sister up from school. I think I was in 2nd grade. My sister was in kindergarten. We get in the car right as my dad's starting to pull out of his parking space and drive up. Some kid runs up to us and bangs on our the passenger seat door.
Oh no.
And my dad rolls down the window and he's like, Sir, can you please give me a ride home? I missed my bus. I forgot my jacket out at recess and I missed my bus.
Really? So a random kid that just comes up to your car, asks your dad for a ride. Does he even know him?
No, we didn't know this kid, and I don't think we ever saw him again.
Oh my fucking god, are you kidding me?
But yeah, my dad complied and gave us a ride.
What?
No, he gave him a ride. And nothing shady happened. He just brought the kid to wherever his house was, dropped him off.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah, that was such a weird event, though. In fact, many years later, by the time I was in high school, I actually brought up the incident to my dad and my sister again. They were like, oh yeah, we remember that.
What do they have to say about it?
I was just like, Dad, you probably don't remember this, but remember when you had to drive that older kid that randomly came up to our car once, and he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. And my sister's like, wasn't he the guy who missed his bus or something?
Wait, he was an older... How old was this kid? Like...
4th or 5th grade. He was like 4th or 5th grade.
And what grade were you in at the time?
2nd grade.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was really weird, because I look at 5th graders nowadays, they're not that big of kids, you know?
But back then you thought they were?
I swear to fucking God, when I was in kindergarten, like in 1st grade, like in my elementary school, 2 different grades would eat lunch at the same time. When I was in 1st grade, we were paired with the 5th graders. The 5th graders looked like they were in fucking high school.
What?
They were huge.
Probably to you, at least.
Yeah, perspective.
You know...
That was a really weird thing, though, because even when I was in 4th grade to 5th grade, when I was in 4th grade, even then the 5th graders still looked much older. In fact, one time when we had to have some kind of practice in the auditorium, with 4th graders and 5th graders together, there were some 5th grade girls that were waving down to us, and they're like, hi, little kitties!
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was weird.
You know, if I was fucking... Okay, if I had my own kid and some other random kid that I didn't know and my kid didn't know asked me for a ride, and this was during elementary school, I would actually say no, because first off, well, okay, assuming it was a similar situation as to yours, my first thought would probably be, is this some kind of social test or whatever? And I mean, personally, I would just straight up say no because, well, I don't think the kid's parents would like just some random person giving a ride to their kid, you know? Like, I mean, you never know what's gonna happen when shit like that goes down, you know what I mean? I mean, at least with your, at least with your dad, you know, it didn't go wrong, but I mean, to their parents, you know, it's like anything could happen. I mean, if it's at least your friend, then that's a different story, you know? But if it's some random kid, then, I mean, of course I'm gonna say no, because what the fuck? I would seriously only do it if my kid knew them, at the very least. Otherwise, fuck that. Oh yeah, also, you know how everyone keeps saying, oh, your high school years go through so quickly. They go so fast that it's like it went before your eyes or something like that. Like, you ever heard people say that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, I'll give them this. Senior year for me so far feels like that. That's a good thing for me, because I fucking hate school with a passion. Seriously, school fucking sucks dick. I mean, the only part that I actually like are classes that I think are actually beneficial for me. Like my digital photography class or my video classes from a few years back. That I actually enjoy. Classes that are forced, aka math classes or science classes or any of that bullshit, that's the part I fucking hate the most. Seriously, it's fucking ridiculous. And for the record, first 3 years for me went slow as hell. In fact, I felt that all my school life was slow as hell. Well, except maybe I don't think preschool was, actually. Preschool went really fast. In fact, days went really fast. Like, literally the entire day went fast for me when I was extremely little. But
oh my god.
But
you just made me think about
senior
year what?
But senior year right now is going pretty fast, it feels like. So, I mean, I'd argue that's a good thing for me because, honestly, I kind of want to get the hell out of Phoenix.
So this is what you have to say to school as a whole. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Oh, look, what clever children. See them study, watch them learn. How I hate those goody-goodies. How they make my stomach turn.
Jesus fucking Christ. The sad thing is that it's kind of true. Like, I'm forced to partake in that shit as well, so... Oh my god.
You need to do the I am mean dance.
I'm not good with dances, sorry.
Especially when he does those weird movements. Oh my god. But anyways, I don't even know if I could... we could dedicate an entire freaking podcast episode to, like, school experiences. But you know what? I could always retell shit because maybe Vandalia could join in, or Brandon could join in, or even like my friends could join in, or your friends, or anybody. But preschool, you got me thinking about preschool because I swear to God, you thought middle school schnick was bad. Try elementary school schnick.
Why? Was it tenfold worse?
Yes, much worse.
Oh shit.
During preschool, I remember specifically one day I made the teacher real pissed off when I actually walked out of the classroom for no reason and started imitating scenes from The Emperor's New Groove.
What? What the fuck? Why? Why would you do that? Oh my god!
Yep.
What the fuck?
That's why it's really fun to bring up my old days as a stupid little kid, because you really cannot expect what kinds of shit I did.
Oh fuck! Schnick! Of course your teacher would be pissed off! Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Fuck!
I know she was understandably pissed off about that, and the thing is, I don't even remember why I did it. I just felt like, I'm bored of class now, time to step outside. Oh, what was that scene from Emperor's New Groove? Oh, right! Pretends to kick down a door, boom, boom, bang, baby!
Oh my...
Is your webcam on? Oh my god. Now I need to watch this.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
If you want to know what just happened, go on the podcast, Schneck.
I saw.
You saw it happening?
What?
You saw me doing my thing?
Yeah, you banging your head against the freaking pillow.
Yeah, that shit I haven't done in fucking months. That's only when stupid shit really fucking happens, or I hear something really fucking stupid and, oh my god, Schnick. What the fuck?
That's the mind that would later make the shitty RPG.
Jesus fucking Christ, Schnick. At least with me, I had an excuse where when I was real little, apparently I would run across the playground back and forth and act as if there's nobody there, even though there was full of kids there. And if my parents were to try and call me for food, like, I don't know, for lunch or something, I would sit in the living room watching TV and literally act as though they didn't even call for me at all. At least then, I had the excuse of me being autistic, and I'm not using that as some bullshit kind of lie. No, I literally have autism, and that's one of the fucking things I did as a little kid. I was fucked in the head back then, let me tell you, but, and yes, I did get better, even though technically you could call me autistic from recent stuff, especially Crash Bash. That was kind of really stupid, but back then, oh my god, I was a fucking nightmare, or at least I would be in a nightmare if I had to deal with my past self. But yeah, at least with me, I had a fucking excuse. You, Schnick, what excuse did you have for doing that?
None.
Exactly. Now
the thing is,
for no reason, was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. Oh, Emperor's New Groove. What the fuck?
That's not even the first time I did that.
What? Can you repeat that, Schnick? Can you fucking repeat that? Can you fucking repeat that?
So sometime before that incident, I distinctly remembered watching my Rugrats in Paris VHS tape, and I saw a commercial for the Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius movie. During the time we were supposed to be having arts and crafts, I walked over near the classroom door and started imitating the Jimmy Neutron trailer.
I'm done. Fucking.
Dad, I don't know if you want to watch one of your movies.
Can't doing podcast. Please try again later. Schnick, what the fuck's wrong with you back then?
You know what? I really don't know. Sorry, I had to adjust myself.
What? Why'd you come in again? What'd you even do? Oh, she probably put a DVD in here. Oh my god.
Wah, wah.
Fucking Jesus Christ, Schnick.
Thing is, even though I've never got a formal diagnosis, I've theorized I've had autism or something like that. Then again, my dad, I actually upfront asked my dad about it, and he constantly denies that I have some kind of autism. And honestly, the thing with autism is that without treatment, autistic kids can't understand social cues, and they don't understand emotions very well. Thing is, I understand emotions and social cues very well.
Well, I mean, autism's technically different for every person that has.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like I exhibit some kind of symptoms of a social anxiety disorder, because when I was a kid, I didn't want to focus on anything that didn't immediately interest me. And even today, sometimes I feel like I have a hard time trying to approach people and talking to them. And the thing is, I'm entirely self-aware about it, and even though I keep telling myself to improve, I just can't bring myself to do it.
You know, with me, being an autistic person that's actually been diagnosed, I don't remember what specifically. I think it was Asperger's? No, wait, I don't remember. I'm not going to say what specifically, but all I know is I have autism, basically. But being a person that lives with autism, for me, nowadays, I notice that for problems that would be addressed to me by professionals, I would be then self-aware about problems, and, you know, nowadays I feel as though I know I have problems, but, like, not exactly sure what I should think of it, I guess. Because the thing is that I just don't really notice I have any problems in particular until they're brought up to me. For example, recently, last IEP meeting I had, I believe I was told that I should work on it not being as frustrated as I already get. And I mean, I don't know, I can't exactly remember what it said, but it was something like that. And it doesn't have to do with me being pissed off all the time, or the fact that, oh, I have anger issues or anything like that, but I guess in a sense I can get frustrated easily. But I kind of use that as an advantage for entertainment purposes, I suppose. But a lot of the time it also happens off screen. And while Schnick says that he gets pissed off on video and doesn't actually mean it and does it on purpose,
it is on purpose, actually.
Oh wait, did I say not on purpose?
No, you said it is. No, you were right. I was just verifying your claim.
Oh, okay. Anyways, even though Schnick's reactions are at least on purpose, almost every reaction I have is my actual reaction. Crash Bash reaction, that was an actual reaction I had. And I'm still admitting that I was stupid during that situation. I won't deny that. I was stupid. But other reactions, like if I were live streaming a game and I got pissed off at something, That would be an actual reaction. If I'm gonna make a purposeful reaction, I'll probably do it really exaggerated or make it blatantly obvious that it's fake. Because, well, I don't know, I guess that's how I do my own comedy, I guess. But generally speaking, if I get frustrated at something, that's not me faking it, that's me actually getting frustrated. And depending on what happens, I might get over it quickly. But it mainly depends on the situation, I guess. And technically, I could work on that, but here's the thing. Even though I had an IEP meeting stating that I need to work on these things, I only meet with the counselor that's supposed to work on these things with me, like, once a month, and there's, like, maybe two people there is 2 people I work with, so that's, like, I think about 2 months, no, wait, what, 2 months? No, sorry, 2 people a month. And what makes things even worse is that I have to be told by a teacher that I'm supposed to be down to one of the people I work with. But the problem with this is that for her, or for my teacher, it's a hit or miss situation where she might tell me it, and other times she might not even tell me because she forgot. And the first time I was supposed to meet one of the people I work with, she legitimately did not tell me for like 2 times in a row. And on top of that, this one person's schedule is not a set schedule where, okay, so he's meeting this time. No, it's when she's free, she'll meet with me once a month. And, you know, it's like, we haven't even worked on this skill set yet, and I don't really understand what has happened. And I guess I kind of blame my teacher for that, because, like I said, it's a hit or miss. And last time she mentioned about me going fucking hell, talking is not working. Okay, let me retry that sentence. Last time I was supposed to meet with one of the people I work with, my math teacher told me, oh, you were supposed to go down with so-and-so, even though she never told me that. And the only thing I could do was just say, oh, sorry, because, well, first off, like I said, the math teacher never even told me. Second, I didn't know what to say. I mean, there's not really a whole lot I can say to a teacher in that situation, because, well, first off, I clearly saw that she thought that she told me, and if I told her otherwise, she would just deny it. So I already knew this, first off, so that's the main reason why I didn't say anything other than sorry. And second, I could technically argue that I didn't go down there because I completely forgot about doing so. Third is a question I have. Why don't they just send me a pass? I mean, I should ask about that. I should ask them, can you send me a pass from now on? Because it seems like the teacher just either tells me or doesn't tell me. And if they don't tell me, then I can't go there because I don't know otherwise. So, I mean, that's something I should really ask about, actually. And here's the other thing. Like I said, the schedule is, well, it depends for one of the people I work with. And if I miss it, then, well, it depends. Well, I don't know how long I would have to wait, but it would probably be another week or 2 or longer. So, yeah. Haven't even worked on any of the skill sets for frustration whatsoever. Can only meet with 2 of the people I work with once a month, and all in all, it's just kind of a mess. And at this point, I'm starting to think, now that I'm mentioning it, I'm starting to think, what's the point of even, you know, going down to see them about it if I'm not even, you know, getting it worked on. Like, what the hell? What are you laughing at? Snack.
I'm just watching back your reaction to the freaking preschool stories.
Oh. Wow. But did you hear what I said?
Yeah, about how people tell you about autism differently.
No. That was really close to what I said.
Okay.
Okay, let me shorten it down. Teacher's supposed to tell me if I'm supposed to meet with one of the two people I work with, and if I miss it, then I have to wait maybe a week or two or longer for one specific person because schedule is not set. Other person's schedule is set. I meet with two people once a month, and I'm supposed to work with working around frustration with them. Haven't been talking about that at all yet, and starting to question why I'm even having to go see them if I'm not even working on it at all. And also questioning, or I will question, or no, let me retry that again. I will ask the people I work with if they can just send me passes instead, because teacher is not reliable enough to tell me if I'm supposed to go down with the person I work with or not, because it's either a hit or miss situation. If she tells me, great. Sometimes she might not tell me, and the last time she told me something about it, she claimed that, oh, I didn't go down there even though she told me, which doesn't make sense because I could have sworn that she didn't tell me anything like that, and the only thing I could do was say, oh, sorry, because I saw the way she was telling me it was she was sure that she told me. So therefore, if I questioned her, she would have just argued back that, oh, I did tell you, so there was no point. And second, I can technically argue that, oh, I just forgot, because I get focused in the class, so, I mean, what do you expect?
Some BS about you being assigned to work somewhere only to find it was something else.
What?
That's what I pulled out of it.
Oh. Okay. Teacher, supposed to tell me if I work with one of the two people I work with, once a month. I work with two people once a month. Teacher's not reliable enough to tell me whether or not I'm supposed to work with one of them or not on a day. So, I will question people I work with, and I will ask people I work with if they can send me passes since teacher is not reliable enough. Teacher recently claimed that I didn't go down there even though she told me, despite her not telling me. I didn't argue back with her because she, by the tone of her voice, she sounded like that she was certain that she told me, or at least she thought she was certain, and therefore, if I argued back, she would say, oh, I did tell you. And I could
So, ignorant teacher.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
There, was that simple enough?
Not really. Well, don't tell it again. Don't tell it again. Oh my god. I can figure it out on repeat viewings and I'll post it in the comments.
Oh my fucking god. Schneck, why do you do this to me?
Because there's something I did in preschool that trumped the last two ones.
Oh my fucking god.
So, you know what I did this time?
What? I'm fucking preparing myself for the worst.
Well, you're preparing yourself for the worst?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anytime I went to preschool, there would always be those kids who would go in to eat breakfast, okay?
Uh-huh.
So, I decided to sit at the breakfast table for once, and I decided to have milk and cereal.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
And with my teacher, I started imitating the Godfather parody from Rugrats in Paris.
So basically you did something similar.
Yeah, there's in the opening scene of Rugrats in Paris, it's a parody of the Godfather, where basically Tommy and Dill are meeting with Angelica, who's pretending to be the so-called Bob Father, and they're basically making requests in the midst of Grandpa Lou's new wedding to his second wife. And Tommy goes in to make a request as though Angelica's the head of the mafia. And Angelica's like, alright, she's basically like, who do I have to whack? Almost acting like a mafia boss.
Oh no.
And there's this one scene where Tommy's like, no, Dill just wants a new binky. Meaning pacifier.
Okay.
Angelica gets pissed and she spits out some milk she was drinking with her cookies. And she's like, what? There's no one for me to beat up or pull the hair off? I imitated this entire scene. And my teacher's like, Nick, stop. Nicholas, stop. And I get right up to the point where Angelica spits the milk out. I actually spat my milk out.
God damn it. Nick! What is your problem? Why did you do that back then? What
if it makes you... If it makes you...
Wait, before you say anything else, did you actually have fucking cookies?
I think there was these weird gingerbread cookies they had.
Oh my god, Schnick! Fucking hell! You even had fucking goddamn makeshift cookies. Goddamn fucking shit. Shit, fuck. I think I marked my glasses. Oh, maybe not.
If it makes you feel any better, I actually leaned over the trash can and spat the milk in there.
You're not supposed to put liquids in trash bags.
At least it wasn't on the floor.
I'd rather have you done it outside.
Oh my god.
Fucking giving you weird looks in school, Schnick. I swear to fucking god.
It's part of the reason I got bullied, actually.
Well, no wonder.
Yeah, honestly, I go on about... Well, the thing is, by the time I learned, it was no longer justified.
Oh, wait a second. So you do weird shit in preschool and elementary, you're not even diagnosed with autism, gets bullied, and how bad?
It was not at its worst until 7th grade, and by then you could say I had learned. Kind of, because I was putting that weird behavior into shitty RPGs and not into my actual school behavior.
Okay, so basically you were bullied for that shit. Meanwhile, for my situation, I was autistic. I got bullied because of a used-to-be friend of mine had his own friends that bullied me for God knows why, and I bullied them back, and then that friend bullied me back, and then we were basically no longer friends, and I never got that kind of attention, or good attention, except for somehow existing friends that I had, I don't know how the fuck I even had friends, but I did, apparently. Some fucking how. And no, I'm not friends with them anymore because things happened. And meanwhile, in middle school, I had to deal with a fucking autistic person, and he was doing weird fucking shit. He had a lanyard, and he would do this, kneel on the floor, and be like, mumbling some basketball shit, like that kind of shit. And he fucking got special attention. Like, he had a problem that was most likely autism. He got special attention from everybody, yet I had autism too, except I never got any fucking special attention. People fucking were pissed off at me whenever I bullied that other autistic kid because, oh, why are you bullying him? Why the fuck am I not getting special attention if I'm fucking autistic too? How about that? Oh wait, I couldn't explain to them that because I was fucking-tistic. So, therefore, I couldn't explain to them exactly why. You know my fucking reason for bullying at that time was? Whenever someone asked, oh, why are you bullying this kid? My reason was because, oh, I would say I used to be autistic or some bullshit like that, and the reason why I would say that is because I thought that you could grow out of autism completely, and oh boy, how wrong was I. But, anyways, let's continue. So, I would say that, oh, I used to be really autistic or some shit like that, and, basically, my reasoning was the fact that, oh, he's autistic, so he's reminding me of how autistic I was, so, therefore, I don't like him, or some shit like that. And part of it was kind of true, but I didn't like him because I felt that he shouldn't have been in a main class, and that's actually really ironic because if I said that, then technically that should count for me too. But, yeah, that's what I said at the time, and, he was just, honestly, he was really fucking annoying. I'm being honest, he was really annoying, generally. Whether he could help it or not, I still didn't like it at that time, and if I had to deal with that situation nowadays, I probably wouldn't be as pissed off about it as I was, and I probably wouldn't even say anything about it, but, back then, oh yeah, I would bully that kid. And, I mean, I thought it was kind of bullshit, and I still think it's kind of bullshit where, oh, so if someone else is autistic, then they get special attention, but when I'm autistic, I don't get special attention, I get fucking bullied? The fuck kind of hell is that? And yes, I was in a fucking, well, oh wait, no, this was in a different school. I was in a special ed class, but, the kid I'm referring to was like in a later year, and by then I was actually out of special ed class due to certain circumstances, and yeah. So, it kind of, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Why should that kid get special attention but not me, even though I'm autistic too? Is it only because of the fact that I got bullied? Is it because I wasn't stupid acting enough? Or was it some other miscellaneous reason? Oh, wait, was it that I didn't have a para with me, so therefore people couldn't tell that I was autistic or some shit like that? Because I can guarantee you that anyone that met me during my middle school years would probably think, oh yeah, this kid must be something wrong with him or something. If I was like that in high school, people would be questioning if I was autistic. I would guarantee you that, because by high school, people know what fucking autism is. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
And
that pissed me off back then. It kind of pisses me off now. Still.
This whole angry rant was brought on by me saying how I imitated a Rugrats scene.
Also, Hi Hawk, I don't know what Brandon is. He's probably, no, I don't know how Brandon is. He's probably playing Destiny 2 with his dad, and no one gave you special treatment. If you're talking about people treating you, the way I think I described it, how that kid was treated. If not, then basically he was treated as though, like, oh, he's the cool kid or some shit like that. Like, they acted like he was the cool kid. They acted like he was important, and yet I wasn't. What the fuck?
I'll tell you one thing. I told you how there were a couple of special needs kids at my high school. One of them actually became a really good friend of mine, and we walked together at graduation. Another one was immensely popular, and he even was on good terms with me. Oh, and Brandon's not on PSN, looks like.
Oh, well, he might be appearing offline, though.
Possibly, yeah. And there was another special needs kid who was also pretty popular. He hated my guts for no reason. In fact, there's one time when he actually ended up calling me a Jew.
I think he told this story a long while ago. I
did tell the story a long time ago, but yeah. If that story went public back then, with all of social media nowadays, I don't know what would have happened. And the funny thing is, I'm not even Jewish.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought that because he saw my last name on the class roster. I know that Chris Chan, when he went after the owner of the game place, he called him a Jew as an insult, thinking his last name, Snyder, was Jewish.
You know, I'm not gonna call someone a Jew because, oh, their last name looks like a Jew last name or some shit like that.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, that's not the kind of thing I would even joke about, because, you know, that's one of the more sickening things Darkside Phil did that actually got him banned from Blip, because in Dead Space 2, when he played Dead Space 2, he role-played, I'm not even kidding, Isaac Clarke, the main character of Dead Space 2, as the quote-unquote last remaining Nazi, and he claimed that the necromorphs were Jewish people who were transformed into necromorphs because of their endless greed. And he had to exterminate them all.
Wow.
That was a fucking sickening thing. I had a hard time sitting through it because it's like he thinks it's funny when it's not fucking funny.
I don't think I've ever made a joke about Jews, and personally, I don't really have a lot of knowledge about Jewish people, to be honest.
Basically, it's one of the oldest religions. Like basically Christianity and Judaism, I think it is. Basically, the Jewish and the Christians were kind of warring factions back in old times. In fact, I think then again, I can't really talk about it because I don't remember it too much. But yeah, so the main reason why it's not really funny to make jokes is how the Jewish population was huge, went through there was a huge genocide of the Jewish population in World War II. Because a lot of people living in Germany during World War II were Jewish. And Hitler basically used the Jewish population as a scapegoat for Germany's problems, and it all led into an event called the Holocaust, where not just the Jewish people, but also prisoners of war, as well as Slavic people, like people from Ukraine or Poland. Basically, they were sent into concentration camps, where basically people who were fit enough were used for slave labor, and people who weren't fit enough were basically executed. They would be executed by firing squads, or they would be sent into so-called showers, which were really gas chambers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of the most. It's easily. A lot of the deaths of World War II were attributed to the Holocaust, and that's why it's not a very pleasant thing to make jokes about that, like what frickin' DSP did. Truth is, my grandfather was a Holocaust survivor.
Oh well.
Yeah, he was not Jewish. He was actually Ukrainian. And according to my gram, I actually talked to her about it once. She claimed that when the concentration camps were falling apart at the end of the war, he just simply walked out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but we're kind of 11 minutes over the 2-hour limit, so...
Oh my god. You know what? Stay tuned for next week. I swear to God, after those freaking preschool stories, we need to continue.
Oh, no.
Already, we got our topic for next week.
Oh, shit. You're right. God damn it.
Because it doesn't stop there. I have more stories of me doing that crap.
Fuck.
It's not just imitating scenes from movies. I did do more bullshit than that, but yeah.
The only bullshit I did, basically, was fucking fighting people in elementary school.
That's not interesting, though. What's interesting is how I frickin'...
Well, I mean, an autistic kid fighting someone that isn't autistic,
For schools, they must call that Tuesday.
What? Is that a joke? 'Cause I don't
No, basically that means that they expect it frequently.
Oh. Okay.
Like, basically, that line I got from the Nostalgia Critic, because when there is a scene in the live-action Street Fighter movie where, I think it was Chun-Li, she confronts M. Bison about how M. Bison massacred, like, her village or something, and then M. Bison's like, "My dear, to you, that must have been one of the most tragic moments of your life, but for me, it was Tuesday."
Wow. So basically you made a reference.
Kind of, yeah.
God damn it. Alright, well, that's it for this podcast. Hopefully Vandalia will join us next week, and same thing for Brandon. Though, then again, he's probably going to be busy with Destiny 2 still. So, whoa. Well, since I didn't do the thing properly last week, Schnick, because you commented on that as I was ending it, go check out my channel and Schnick's channel. Is there anything in particular you're doing on your channel, Schnick?
Well, I did mention I'm going to be playing 007 The World Is Not Enough very soon, and starting to upload it for my Graham's would-be 79th birthday.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I'm hoping everyone can get together by next weekend, and if it's just you, or if it's... like... if Brandon's gonna be freaking busy with Destiny 2, I want it to be at least you and Vandalia, and maybe Dominic or Jason if I can coerce them.
Yeah.
Because, don't forget, they knew my Graham more personally.
I guess it would make sense.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, then how come you didn't do that before? Or did you?
Well, I never thought about it, because the thing is, they're both very busy. Like, I know Jason plays football for his high school, and Dominic was working at a grocery store, and he was doing things like kayaking, I think, or some kind of sailing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm actually going to try and start some momentum with me getting shitty RPG episodes up more frequently, and I guess generally Let's Play episodes, I guess. And I mean, the only other thing I'm doing that's not exactly on my channel is editing Vandalia's videos, which, by the way, if you want me to do something for you for, I don't know, $10 or so an hour, hit me up on my channel. Other than that, there's not really anything else. So I guess, what the fuck? You're still doing that? You might as well, Schnick, you're doing it wrong. You gotta go, hung, hung, hung. No, do the thumb thing again, but every time you switch thumbs, go hung.
Hang.
No! No, the one you were doing first.
Hang.
Yeah, there you go.
Hang.
Hung.
Hang. 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 Onions.
Onions.
Layers.
Alright, I think.
Do it again.
Onions. Layers. Ow, that actually hurt my throat. Alright, I'm fucking done. I need to end this before I kill my throat. Alright, we'll see you guys next week. And as Vandalia would say, as always, enjoy the randomness. See ya.
And as MarioTube would say,
No. Well, that's one of the things I would say, but no.
what would you say then?
I say bye-bye.
And Schnick says nothing.
No, you go. Bye. Oh, great. Schnick fell asleep.